Hi, welcome to Alpha Praxis. We're going to be dealing with issues that concern all of us, that deal with society, that deal with culture, that deal with politics, and the very nature of what binds us and separates us throughout society. We need to learn how to understand these issues before we can ever understand how to overcome them and knit ourselves back together as a people and enjoy our lives in peace and harmony. We've been having problems, and society has gotten more separated as time has gone on. We all know that deep down inside, we intrinsically care about one another. But unfortunately, outside forces have caused us to start feeling that we don't believe in the care and love of society. We feel that we're different. We feel that we're separate. We feel that other groups don't like each other. And we feel that we don't have a quality of life that we all can work together and help one another to bind and work to become one and a successful people. So today we're going to talk about identity politics and the issues that are creating divisions in our society that don't need to. They should not. Very few people actually have issues with one another over their identity or their interest in who they are, how they live, and what they like. So it's time that we maybe delve into the concerns that are our identity. We all need to understand the first thing. We're a people. We're a group of humans that live together in society. There's no separating that. That's done. We're together. You're my neighbor, I'm yours. Your neighbor is yours. Everyone is together. So now we need to understand why we're starting to see each other as different, why we're looking at each other as people that don't get along, as hating one another, as being unhappy with the existence of each other in our communities. Because I think that it's not a problem of natural incurred issues brought up through the development of our life. It's something that manufactured through being forced into creating these identities that then we begin to hate one another. It's important to understand that if you stop and think, do you really dislike other people? Are you that hateful that you don't like somebody simply because the color of their skin, their sexual preferences, their religion, their choices in life, their politics? Does that really create a hate in your heart that makes you want to dislike them so much that you hope that they fail, fall, break, and go away? I don't believe that. I don't believe you truly feel that way. And I think if you stop and actually think about it, you don't either. And what we need to do is understand at what point do we stop the noise and all the static and actually think about what is going on. What are we doing to each other? Why are we hurting each other? Why are we attacking each other in ways that we never would do if we actually stopped and had dinner with one another and talked? Because you wouldn't treat your friend like that, no matter what their politics or issues were. You would stop and realize, hey, this is my friend. I care about them. I respect them. I don't agree with them. That's not something I like. That's not something I feel. But that's them. I'm me. It's cool. Whatever. We're done. You wouldn't hate them. But when it's a stranger, we find it easy to attack and aggress towards. And that's the problem. And this isn't being manufactured out of nowhere. This did not just start. This is a product of a controlled engagement of politics. We're being taught to find divisions, to dwindle us down to so many separated parts that no one gets along anymore. We're being divided by sex, politics, religion, class, everything. And we really believe these things are real when they're not. And the reason why this is happening, and you need to stop and think about this, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, is because the political class is doing it so we do not pay attention to what is going on. It's so we are so divided and angry about everything else that we don't have time to watch them. That way they can get away with everything they want behind our backs. They do it so we are so bound up in our hatred of one another that they can pretend like they're going to solve our issues with their help. They're going to nanny us back into happiness by their love, joy, respect, and tosses of pittance of money. They're going to make us be happy again and neighbors, and they'll get rid of all our problems. They break us up into sexual groups. I mean, think about it. Do you really think anyone cares who anyone has sex with? Probably a very small minority. And those people are just as quiet about what they feel as racist. Racist. Have you ever heard somebody say something racist? Nobody hears it. It would be tromped down so quick. The people that feel that way are so embarrassed to open their mouths that they don't say a thing. But the government wants you to think that this is pouring out of the woodwork, that there are just racists behind every tree. You better look out. They're coming for you. Better look out. If you're gay, they're going to get you. If you're trans, they're going to come for you. This isn't real. It's not. I've been around all types of people my whole life, and no one has ever openly stated hatred towards another type of people, ever. Sure, I don't doubt there are racists. I don't doubt there are homophobes. I don't doubt there are sexists and misogynists and all types of people. Of course they're there. There are evil people. There are horrible people. But they are not even in the minor portions of a quantity of our people. And our people is all of us. That's you, that's me, that's everyone. Our people are us. And we need to learn how to understand our differences and come together. We know that we all have differences, whether it's sexual preference, whether it's skin color, whether it's religion, ethnicity, anything. There is no reason, though, to have concerns regarding these tiny minorities of people that are hateful and evil. And we all can work together to stand against those people. But let's not pick boogeymen out of the woodwork for no reason. There's no point, because it just hurts us all. Learn how to find what unites you, because you end up becoming what you hate. You become the separating agent in society. By becoming a separating agent in society, we end up destroying our communities, the people that will love us, the people that we should be supporting, and the other groups that we feel we're separated from. What we need to learn how to do is knit ourselves back together, not allow media, the governments, and outside forces to change us into something that we're not meant to be. We naturally have a drive to care about one another. We naturally have an inclination to enjoy the time we spend with each other. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Jewish, Christian, atheist, anything, we are meant to find ways to be one, not separate. That's not a natural feeling. To dislike one another is not a natural inclination. It's something that's derived out of constant subliminal pressure by outside forces that encourage us to believe that there's this weird feeling that you have to stand up and fight against and rail against something. And then we find our group and our small minority group, and we get together and we feel like we have to huddle and fight off the world. But that's not true, because the world's not out for you. Everyone's not out after you. Everyone actually cares about each other. We just are being tricked And I know it's a natural feeling to want to huddle and hide and then stand up and fight. There are things to fight against. No doubt about it. I can tell you there aren't. True racists, true evil people, rapists, pedophiles, violent people. But we can all do that together. We don't need to divide. We need to stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated by these forces that are using us so they can work behind our back and do anything they want. Anything. They inside trade. They become rich off our tax money. They treat us like peasants. They don't care about you. The Democrat and Republican Party could care less about what happens to you. Do you really think either of them care? Do you really think that they're worried about what's going on in your life? Oh, God, I'm so worried about, Jimmy the trans kid. They don't give two blanks about you. And I hate saying it because that's a sad thought, because we all want to feel like we're cared about. And I understand that. And that's natural. That's intrinsic to our total feeling as a human. We don't want to think that people could care less about us. But unfortunately, there are those among us that gain power and wealth and can't let it go. They become addicted to it, no different than a heroin addict becomes addicted to heroin. They can't let it go. They have to keep it going. And they will do anything to keep it. And that means trampling those that believe in them the most. So instead of us all fighting, we need to stand up and turn around and look at those that are pushing us from behind to fight each other and say, what are you up to? What are you doing? I've tried to fight the racist. I've tried to fight the misogynist. I've tried to fight the person that hated other religions. But now, what's going on behind the curtain? And just like the Wizard of Oz, if we pull back the curtain, we'll find that the wizard is actually a joke. And we need to dispel that problem because our country is being destroyed from the inside out. Not only are we having other influences affect our country, but our own politicians are attacking us all the time. They're manipulating us, and they've got the media in their pocket. And I don't care what side you're on. If you don't realize that, then you have been so brainwashed that you can't comprehend reality. Because you have to understand that they will not leave power. That's why so many of our politicians are ancient. They literally are fossils. Joe Biden doesn't even know where he's going. He shakes hands with ghosts because they think he's already dead. We have to understand that this is not normal. Our politicians should be 40-year-old men, women. They should be wonderful people that have vibrance and interesting ideas and exciting percepts of the world. Not old, poured out memories of World War II. I want someone that has somebody in their head that they relate to me, not something that's so archaic that it makes no sense. And until we get this, look at the members of the House, the Senate, and the President. They are ancient. Why are we listening to these vapid fossils that literally keep gestating out the most ignorant statements just to keep themselves in power? I mean, it's no question Nancy Pelosi's insider trading. Would you want to live next door to an insider trader and think they were nice? No, instead we'll fight the neighbor who is, transsexual? We'll fight the neighbor who's black. We'll fight the neighbor who's white. We'll fight the neighbor who's Christian, Jew, Muslim. What? No, instead, we'll let Nancy Pelosi get away with insider trading because we're too busy fighting those neighbors and not caring about the people that are truly shoving it down our throat until we gag. And that's the issue. We need to stop isolating ourselves into tiny groups. If you think you sit down tonight when you're about to go to bed and you look deep inside your heart, forget about all the bullshit that you've been fed. We're being manipulated. We're pawns in their game. And if you don't see that, you have to wake up. Because if we don't stand together, then we'll all fall. It doesn't matter what group you're a part of. We will all go down together. There's no saving us if we can't find a way to realize that, yes, there are people out to get us. There are people that don't like us. There are people that don't want us to breed. There are people that don't want us to multiply. There are people that don't care about us. There are people that don't love us. There are people that hate us. But it's not your neighbor. It's not. I promise you. There are much more evil forces at work. And they're the politicians that are operating behind the curtain. And they're the ones that everyone needs to start paying attention to instead of just voting blindly, not even knowing the name, but just seeing a D or an R and not caring. It's time to start waking up and realizing that we are one people. We need to bind together to operate in a way that we can all help each other. When someone gets a little bit ahead, you should look behind you and grab a hand and pull the next person up with you. Because when you don't, then we realize that we have fractioned so much that we will all eventually end up down. And if you don't get that, and you can't see that deep inside your heart, then you are part of the problem. You need to be part of the solution. And it's not fighting against those imaginary groups of people that you think are hating you. Because they're not there. They're not there. There isn't a vast conspiracy of people out to get every little group. They break us into these little groups so we fight. You need to stop and see that. If we all banded together, they would lose it. They wouldn't know what to do. That's why they separate us. Because they know the minute we stop and think and we stop worrying about each other, they're doomed. The party's over. Their cash train will end. Their insider trading game, their industrial complex with the military or the drug companies will come to an end because we'll all see them for what they are. And we will stop them. We will come together. We will vote them out. We will end being treated like subjects because that's what we are. We're not free people. We've been manipulated to think we are. We're not free anymore. Slavery is alive and well right here in America. So just look around you and yeah, we're being subjugated into slavery. We're paying our taxes. We're paying their salaries. We're taking care of everyone they need us to take care of. We're paying for all their bombs, all their craziness. And we're working until we die and getting nothing out of it except misery and hatred. So, of course, that is not equivalent to the actual word in which slavery was generated. I'm Slavic, and that's where the word comes from, slave. So trust me and my family understand where slavery comes from. So it's not to diminish the actual word of slavery, but a subjugated people are slaves. And when you watch TV, get on the internet, fall into this world of I'm going to work 9 to 5, and I'm going to get home, get on Snapchat, get on Facebook, get on OnlyFans, get on all these websites that just keep you mind numb. and not pay attention to what's behind the curtain, you've been mentally subjugated into a mental slavery. And we need to finally wake up, because until we do, we're doomed. We are doomed. And I beg each and every one of you to look to your left and look to your right and realize your neighbors love you. They care about you. Those people you see when you walk into a store and you pass mindlessly and don't think about, if you need help, 90% of them would jump to the occasion and help you. They love you. They don't feel like love, but they care enough about you to do whatever they can to ensure your happiness and your survival in that moment. So we need to maybe wake up and realize the boogeyman isn't our neighbor. The boogeyman is right in front of us. And it's our government. So please, everybody, realize that love is important. And it's not the hokey, hippie, big rainbow in the sky and unicorns dancing in the field love. It's a love of, I see you're drowning. I just got up onto the iceberg. I'm going to grab your hand and pull you up. I'm not going to let you go down. That love. And that's intrinsic, and that's human. And that's what we are all born with. And that's what hopefully we'll all die with. But together, we can be the best country that we used to be. And we need to grow as one, not as many. Because it doesn't matter your differences. It doesn't. We all celebrate differences. That's what makes us special. It would be terrible if we were all the same. How boring of a world. I love a world of diversity and all different kinds of people. That's what makes it exciting and fun and interesting and wonderful. How great is it when you meet somebody that's totally different than you and you learn about something that you never knew about? Everyone thinks that's amazing. If they don't, they should, because what kind of gray world do they live in? But honestly, you're all one. You're all part of the one. So please, learn how to come together. Wake up to the reality. We're not against each other. There's another group of people that don't care, and they're the ones that drive us. And we elect them every time in the ballot box. We need to wake up to that. So stop just mindlessly voting people into office that have no interest in yours. Because that's the only reason why they're in politics. They're supposed to care about us. They're there for us. We pay them. We take care of them. We're their boss. And they're screwing us. So remember, when you look at somebody that's different than you, they're not different. They may look different, act different, talk different, have sexual preferences are different, religious practices are different. But really, deep down in their heart, we're all the same. We are. Unless they're evil or horrible, we are all the same. So stop thinking that there's somebody out there to get you. Because 9 times out of 10, there's somebody that would probably be able to be your best friend. And somebody that would help you if your house is on fire. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Please, think about honestly the people that you think don't like you. And think about how you think about people. And if you think in your heart that you don't hate, they don't. Because we are the same. We all love each other. We just sometimes allow people to manipulate us to think we don't. Thank you very much for watching Alpha Praxis. I'm Eric, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I love you.